Hi, I'm talking with Lora Teagarden, architect out of Indianapolis. Lora, could you please talk a little bit about yourself?
So I am what would be considered a young architect by AIA standards, which means that I've been licensed 10 years or less.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually the current vice chair, 2019 chair for the Young Architects Forum, which is the member group that provides resources and leadership training for those people that are licensed 10 years or less.
Mm-hmm.
I work as a project architect at a firm headquartered out of Indianapolis, but we have 4 offices across the nation. And I own my own small business on the side, under which I've published 2 books so far that are visual study guides for the ARE.
You're very busy.
I'm busy. Yeah, there's home renovations in there somewhere, but
I know. I know. Oh, what are your first recollections of experiencing architecture?
So my parents would say that I was always most at ease when as a child, like young child, either drawing or coloring or outside playing and building things. And that drawing was not of animate things like people and animals. It was always of buildings for some reason. And my grandfather owned a airplane engine parts business, and so we would get all these big boxes from the different parts before they then got dispersed to. He was, in the era before internet, he was the middleman between the part creator and the person that actually put the engine together. So we had all these boxes in this big back room, and I somehow was granted the allowance to use a box cutter, and so we had this like box city in the back. So looking back now, that's a pretty big architectural moment, with the benefit that the business next door was a furniture and textile company, so they would give us like the curtain scraps and like all the offshoots. So like we had little curtains and carpet tiles in these box cities. So that's probably one of the biggest initial pieces.
I always think it's funny, we like, people spend so much time, and money buying these toys for their kids, and really they just want the box that it comes in.
Yeah.
And that's what my kids used to, they just loved like big boxes. So then we had all these big boxes with my kids like cutting stuff out, and then, we're like, oh, can we throw this away? No.
Yeah. okay, but we only have room for the toy or the box.
We have no room for anything. Yeah. What are 3 classic buildings that you like and why? And I put 3. You can answer with less than 3, but it seems like architects can never answer with just one.
Right.
Yeah.
So I am more of a modernist. So what I appreciate that comes to mind are the extensions of classic buildings. So like I'm thinking of the National Museum in Trafalgar Square. And the modernist, like postmodern extension that was put in. I think that was might have been a Foster. I'm not entirely certain. But it continues the hierarchy of, the base body cap of the very traditional neoclassical building in the more contemporary edition. And that line work then just slowly starts to fade. And so I appreciate those movements. I'm more of a functional person, so like the ornateness, like while I appreciate it and while I look at it wondering how hundreds of years ago you were able to produce stuff like this.
The craftsmanship,
It's I appreciate it for what it is, but it's not my go-to typology. So,
okay.
Yeah.
What was that? Are there any other? Are there 3
I'm trying to think.
That's okay. You don't need to have 3. It's fine.
It's so hard. I'm going back trying to like think through all the places I've been.
I know. There's so many. We can come back to that one.
Yeah.
How about what do you like about being an architect?
So I am a big puzzle person.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the easiest ways that I find myself telling younger people when they ask a similar question is that I basically solve puzzles all day.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it is solving the puzzle that the client doesn't know that they have, like providing them a solution to a problem they didn't know existed, just
Mm-hmm.
as a part of creating the program for their new building or for their renovation or whatever, to then the nuts and bolts of the puzzle of, okay, but how does that wall detail actually work?
Mm-hmm.
It's all one big puzzle, and then it's the bigger puzzle of, okay, how do we get all this done on budget and on time? So I would say that that's the big piece. It's something where you're constantly learning, constantly thinking through different options and ideas. So
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like those little puzzles that you have to slide one piece together.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like sometimes when I'm designing that's what I'm like, moving things around, moving it to once. We can move this over here and this down and over or something.
Yeah.
What would you like to say about the future of architecture?
It's ever evolving. Or it should be. As a part of what the YAF does, to kind of provide an anecdote, we just hit our 25 years of existence as a mentorship group that was created originally by the College of Fellows. And so every 5 years we do a summit that looks at the strategic planning to set the path for the next 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just had that happen in the this past fall. And moving forward, we're looking at practice innovation and what that means in all the various ways. So are there innovative business models that occur? How do you create equitable practice? Because it's clearly something that we need to like reorganize and improve.
Yes. Yeah.
How do you potentially create new business revenues? Because currently architects are only thriving when their clients are building. So how do you create options where you can thrive in the lulls?
Yes.
So that's
trying to come about it now before we head towards it,
right,
instead of
right.
after we're already in it.
So that's definitely something that I think that we are invested in as a part of the future of architecture. And and we're going to have a big generational shift with a lot of the people that are now coming out of school, because the size of that workforce then offsetting by the older generations retiring is going to have a significant impact. And so we need to be on the forefront of thinking about what that looks like in a firm setting. So that's the future is broad, and we don't quite know what it is yet.
No, we never know what the future is. The future is always ambiguous, and then when you get there, you just have to deal with what comes up. But is there anything else that you'd like to say?
No, thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you so much, Laura. I'm glad that you could take time out of your busy schedule during this conference to interview. Thank you very much.
No problem.